Iran has been a ticking time bomb for years. It's like we're stuck in the Chamberlain era. Everybody was destroyed during World War II. Nobody really wants to win. If you do something to somebody, you're going to make sure that you're going to give them lots of money to build their nation back. We're going to have to help all these nations back on their feet. It basically has left us in a very bad position. We're stuck in that mindset, and we're being taken advantage of.
When they become dependent, and then they become entitled.
They had been trying to negotiate with these guys. Folks, they still have nuke stuff.
They weren't looking to get along. They were seeking how to destroy our
They're
nation.
Nuclear. Welcome, everyone, to the Patriot Project on Mugwump Media. Kevin, we've had a busy week this week. A lot of news.
A lot of news. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you, folks, for joining us today. First of all, I wanted to kind of go over, and I know you guys have probably had a lot of it that you've listened to over the last few days, talking about what's going on with Epic Fury. Yeah.
Sounds serious.
It does sound serious.
Mm-hmm.
It is serious. And I listened this morning to an update. I'm not going to go over all the details and stuff. You all know you're paying attention to Fox News and other things. Hopefully not MSNBC. That's a problem. But Kevin and I wanted to give you just a little bit of an update, some highlights on it. And, Kevin, one of the things that I have been very encouraged and very impressed with Trump by from the beginning, Pete Hegseth is doing a great job too. We have witnessed the de-foofification.
I'm not going to try to say that.
De-foofification of our military. For years, Kevin, you know this. Mm-hmm. Nobody really wants to win. They just want to, appease people, give them money. Obama gave them money. And of course, if you do something to somebody, you're going to make sure that you're going to give them lots of money to build their nation back. And it's like we're stuck in the Chamberlain era. After World War II. You know what I mean? It's kind of like we're stuck there. I heard somebody talking about it the other day, and they said, you know what? They said, it was Glenn Beck. And they were basically talking about how that was everybody was destroyed during World War II. And basically, it left us in the position, because at that point, we were the superpower. And it left us in the position to say, okay, I guess we're going to have to help all these nations back on their feet. We're going to have to build them and help them. And it basically has left us in a very bad position over the last few years, because now we're stuck in that mindset and we're being taken advantage of. But again, the de-foofification of the military. I got it right that time.
You did.
And that's what we've been witnessing.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin used to say something, and I used to think it was well, that's kind of mean, but anymore, I think he's probably right. What is it you used to say about the purpose of war, Kevin?
Well, purpose of war, it's kind of like a fight. If you know that somebody's coming after you and you're going to have to fight them, well, you best be ready, and you best not wait till they show up. You can't let them sneak attack you, so you got to do something about it. You go ahead and you defend yourself, or you put up defenses, and if they cross those, then they trigger certain things that you're going to have to do. And basically, if they force you into a battle, well, kind of like King David when he went to see his brothers, you had a whole army out there. I don't know why they was there. They were letting the Philistines
scared to death
talk about their God. And David was mortified, and he saw that had went too far. You mentioned these other countries rebuilding nations. Well, I guess it's good to help, but when they become dependent, and then they become entitled, and that's where we've wound up being. But back to the war thing, if it comes to the point where we're forced into war, which we've been forced into war a few times, and when you have to realize that the purpose of war is to kill people and break things, and you have to attack. You have to set out to win. Otherwise, there's no middle ground on that. If someone's out to kill you, you have to do something.
And in the same vein, obviously, you don't go to war willy-nilly. I mean, that's something that is something you have to do. It's something that's a final step. And they were. I mean, Trump and, he had Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. They had been trying to negotiate with these guys. And folks, they still have nuke stuff. They still do. And this was actually uncovered over the last few days. And I'm going to read that to you. We all felt great. We know that there was those 2 bunkers that were taken out last year. That was really good. We were told, well, their capabilities set way back. It's mostly gone. Well, we felt better for a while until we started realizing there's a lot more to it than we knew, I believe. And I think that may be one of the reasons that they acted the way they did so quickly.
They weren't looking for a compromise, or they weren't looking to get along. They were seeking how to destroy our nation.
Their nuclear capabilities. Yeah, for sure. I listened this morning to an update from Pete Hegseth, of course, Secretary of Defense, and then the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin Kane.
Quite a name.
It is, Dan Kane. He was good. He doesn't really seem like a politician to me. A lot of the people that get in other, other presidencies seem like they're more politician than they are military guy. He seems like he's a military guy. He laid out 3 objectives, and I thought that they were really, basically, I kind of broke them down. It's basically pretty simple. We're in day 4 of Operation Epic Fury, and here are the 3 objectives, according to him. Destroy and eliminate Iran's ballistic missile system. And that was one of the things that Trump said very clearly. He said, we're going to raze it to the ground. And he meant it. And that's what they're doing. And they're going in waves. The first day, whoa, they blew up a lot of stuff, but they're continuing. It's not, one of the things that he said is we're not ramping down. We're continuing straight across. They're working their way across Iran. Number 2, destroy the Iranian Navy. Folks, they are, to this day, they're taking their little ships over there, and they are now planting mines in the Straits of Hormuz. They are shutting down our economy, ours and many other countries. That cannot be. That is unacceptable. So, number 3, ensuring that Iran can't quickly build those areas back. Right?
Well, yeah.
We don't want to have to do this again in a year.
No, they're not going to give up. That's that they have a goal, and we're dealing with evil, and that's something that we have a hard time identifying sometimes, because we always want to think people want to get along, but the Scriptures tells us to resist the devil, and he will flee.
He'll flee from you.
That's what you have to do. You have to resist, and it comes to the point where he's attacking. You don't just sit there and let him kill your family, kill. A gunman comes into a church, you don't just let him gun everybody down. Yeah. It's there's people in place for defending. That's what our law enforcement's for. And these politicians, they have security teams all around them, and they don't hire them. Well, see if you can figure out how to talk them out of it, and we'll get along with them, and we'll go ahead. Matter of fact, just go ahead and give them money or something. That's not how you. That does not work. That's not what the enemy's trying to do. He's trying to destroy us.
Right. Trump's, again, they're ahead of schedule. They're doing well. Trump's statement a couple of days ago was that the U.S. is substantially ahead of their time projections in this operation, with Iran's military leadership eliminated in about an hour. And that's the truth. That is the truth. The Navy part of the operation, number 2, on March 3rd, the White House posted this statement on the White House Wire.
I like the White House Wire.
I know, Trump's politically incorrect newsletter.
Yes.
I read it. He says, this is from Trump, I've just been informed that we have destroyed and sunk 9 Iranian naval ships, some of them relatively large and important, Trump says. We are going after the rest. They will soon be floating at the bottom of the sea also. In a different attack, we largely...
Hang on, back up. Floating at the bottom of the sea.
Had you not heard this?
I had not heard that statement. Well, it just didn't hit me till just now, but interesting. Interesting.
That's Trump.
Okay.
He said, in a different attack, we largely destroyed their naval headquarters. Other than that, their Navy is doing very well. Of course, he'd say that. And again, keep in mind, folks, they are doing all kinds of stuff, trying to plant mines. And there's a bunch of them that are gone down. And like Trump said, they're going to be floating underwater, if that's possible. Of course, with all the leadership being taken out over the last few days, one of the things that General Kane talked about is that there is a lot of you guys have noticed, they actually put out a depart now order. The State Department did, an alert for Americans across the Middle East as war spillover hits U.S. interests. That was actually from a Epic Times article that I looked at. War spillover is exactly what it sounds like. Much like when a snake's head is cut off, the head just keeps on biting indiscriminately. Even though there is no body attached, there's no coordination. That's exactly what's going on with Iran's military right now, is so many of the leadership is vaporized. They're dead. They're gone. And because of that, you don't have communication. You've basically got different units that are just striking out, doing whatever they can, doing whatever they want. So again, it's kind of a gross and scary way to think of it, but Kevin and I have seen that. Whenever you cut a snake's head off, it just bites at anything. There's no coordination.
These people are driven by evil. Their motives are evil, and they're just out to destroy. And it's
government is for sure.
And you have to acknowledge they don't care who it is they kill. They're out for anybody that's not them. They will kill anybody that's not them any way they can.
Yeah.
Terror.
And keep in mind, folks, we're talking about their government. Man, I get teary-eyed watching the Iranian people. I mean, they're just out celebrating in the streets, holding up signs, "We love you, Trump. Thank you, Trump," the whole thing. Of course they are. Man, I don't blame them after what they've all been through. But bases and targets in other countries are being randomly hit, and that's part of, I think, the 6 people that died. At least 4 of them, I think, that was part of what happened, is they're striking out at anybody and everybody.
Well, the philosophy behind this stuff, it's I've not found any scriptures anywhere where we have any instructions on how to get along with Satan. We're supposed to resist him. We're supposed to stand against him. Right. There's no satisfying evil. That is, the evil Satan is there to destroy.
Yes, we're the great Satan, and Israel is the little Satan.
Yes.
And they've put 2 hits out on Trump. They tried to kill Trump. That in itself would be enough to attack them, really. And you know what? They are very handily proving they are taking out Iran's power to attack us or anyone else. They are doing it. This was some of the stats. I don't know if you guys caught this. Iran's theater ballistic missile shots fired. Basically, all the shots that they took at everybody. Their organized theater of ballistic missiles. Guess what? They are down 86% from the first day or two. 86%. They're putting them away, folks, with a 23% decrease in just the last 24 hours. One-way attack drone shots are down 73% from the opening days. And again, one of the things that General Kane said, we're not ramping down, they're expanding inland. Pete Hegseth, he also stated that the U.S. is winning decisively and will achieve complete control of airspace within days. They've already got the southern flank, and they're moving in.
Yep. Sounds like Mr. Trump, our president, has shot the gun out of their hands.
Yeah.
And it's not just a matter of getting them contained.
This is a result of planning. So many people were upset because Trump said, help is on the way, Iranian people. Iranian people, help is on the way.
Yes.
And so many people were so upset. They're like, why is nobody doing anything? Because he was killing, 40,000, 50,000 of his own people in the streets, mostly young people.
Yep.
Young people.
Yep. Anyone that wouldn't comply.
Yeah, he was planning. This was something, I believe this, Kevin, just from what I've seen and heard, I think this has been planned for months. Iran has been a ticking time bomb for years, and nobody knew how to deal with it, you know? Do we appease them? Do we ignore them? Do we just get loud and aggressive with them and then do nothing? Well, look where it's gotten us. Nowhere. Basically, they're threatening to kill us. They're trying to take out hits on our president. They're killing their own people. That's what it's gotten. And it's trying to bomb, shutting down the Straits of Hormuz.
Mm-hmm.
When Trump took out the atomic sites last year, we all breathed easier for a while. But an interview with Sean Hannity from Fox News over the last few days, you guys may have watched this, may tip off why Trump knew that he had to hit Iran. He had to hit them hard, and he had to hit them fast. Mm-hmm. In the interview, top U.S. negotiator Steve Witkoff spoke about the very first negotiation meeting that he had with the Iranian negotiators. He revealed that the Iranians told them directly, with no shame, that they had enough enriched uranium to build 11 bombs. Kevin, they looked him in the eye and told him that. And guess what? That was the beginning of their negotiating stance. It was like, well, we got enough bombs to blow you all up, so...
Doesn't sound like they're looking for compromise, obviously.
They weren't. They weren't serious.
No.
Witkoff went on to explain their nuclear operation to Hannity. He said, I know this. They have roughly 10,000 kilograms of fissionable material. That's broken up into roughly 460 kilograms of 60% enriched uranium and another 1,000 kilograms of 20% enriched uranium. They manufacture their own centrifuges to enrich this material, so there's almost no stopping them. Mm-hmm. They got their own factory, Kevin,
yep.
And they're using their people's money to do it, and everybody else contributing to them from other evil countries.
And we know their goal.
They have an endless supply of it, Witkoff said. He concluded by telling Hannity the truly grim reality, folks. The Iranians assured him that the 60% uranium could be brought to weapons grade in around a week. And the 20% uranium, it could be brought to weapons grade in 3 or 4 weeks. I think that the situation was discovered to be much worse than Trump initially believed about their capabilities. I mean, who really knew? Mm-hmm. They're so secretive. When he was questioned about why he had pulled the trigger when he did, and of course you've got all those people that are like, oh, Israel. It's Israel that did it. You know, he's their puppet. Trump said no. He said, they didn't force my hand. He said, as a matter of fact, I might have forced their hand. Mm-hmm. You see, we were having negotiations with these lunatics, and that was what he called them, lunatics. And it was my opinion that if we didn't do it, that they would attack us first.
Yep.
And that was actually borne out by Marco Rubio.
Yep.
They were talking today on the news about, oh, he's unhinged, because they started going at him about, well, why did Trump? And he said, I was for this. If you know the truth, this had to be done, and it had to be done now.
The leader in any place, the leader of the household is going to do what he can to defend his family if he knows there's a threat. You have to. That's, Daddy's got to take care of some things sometimes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, we don't know. I think there's a lot of stuff that we don't know right now that we probably will at some point soon. But I think that the gravity of the situation might have been far worse than we all knew. Mm-hmm. And we'll see. We'll see what
we're dealing with a culture of death.
A culture of death, for sure. And as for the killing of the Ayatollah Khomeini, how do they pronounce his name?
They changed the pronunciation. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, they say his son's getting it now.
Okay.
As for the killing of the Ayatollah Khomeini, here's a statement from Trump that I saw posted by Republican Army on Facebook. President Trump just gave ABC News the line of the century. I got him before he got me. They tried twice. Well, I got him first.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Kind of like the old Westerns, Yeah.
I know. That's
Yeah.
what it made me think
Oh,
of.
yeah. It's,
Yeah.
it's not a laughing matter, but sometimes you got to look at things humorously, especially Trump has a way of saying something and just kind of, there's really no conversation after that, and people are going to make up their mind. They either understand or they don't. And
Yeah. No, that's the truth.
Trump loves America. He loves the people of America, and he's going to do everything he can to defend them.
In his own way.
Absolutely.
In his own way, he does. I absolutely believe that.
Yeah.
And, we were talking today about, if you all have never read from the book of Isaiah, and I would have to look it up. I don't have it right now, but it's Isaiah 45. I know that there's a couple of scriptures in Isaiah 45 that talk about a Persian king, a Persian ruler, who his name was King Cyrus. And he was prophesied in the book of Isaiah, some say 150 years before he actually came on the scene. And when he did, he was the one who freed the Jewish people from captivity.
Mm-hmm.
That area, Iraq and Iran, there has been so much. Iraq was ancient Babylon, wasn't it? And then Iran was Persia, but he was a Persian king. And some of the things, I don't have my information with me, but look it up. There's so many things about him. And, people always go on about, Trump's not a Christian. He acts terrible. You hear the way he talks? No Christian should talk like that. The thing about it, what God said about him, he said, Cyrus is not, what were the words he used? That basically he wasn't a Jew, and he wasn't someone that would have been considered behaving like a Jew. He was Persian. He probably was a rough man. And he wasn't even someone who necessarily would have known anything about Jehovah, about the God of the Jews. But he learned, and he was good to the people, and he was the ones that basically sent them back home from Babylon. And they built their temple. And we may have to do a little study on that. Mm-hmm. That's a good study. That's who Trump reminds me of. He reminds me of King Cyrus, and it's Isaiah 45, strangely enough, the 45th president. Pretty neat. All right, well, folks, I had one more thing I was going to tell you before we get off the air tonight. We're keeping it short and sweet. I wanted to tell you something pretty cool that I learned on Saturday after all this came about. And it was from CBN News. CBN revealed something whenever they were doing the rundown on the war that had just started after Epic Fury had begun that they had never spoken of for obvious reasons. They would have there's no telling what the Iranian government would have done if they would have found out what they were doing. But they said it. They said that for more than 20 years, CBN has been sharing the gospel in Farsi with the people of Iran by satellite. Well done, CBN. There's a reason that I love CBN News. Mm-hmm. They're wonderful. Christian Broadcasting Network.
Yep.
Anyway, folks, thanks for joining us again this evening. And we hope that you'll join us again next week. Come back and see us. Bring somebody with you. Make yourself comfortable and just enjoy. And we'll talk about the news of the day. Talk about... we're going to have Pastor Reggie back again soon.
I'd like that.
Do a little bit of Bible study. Mm-hmm. That would be fun. Please remember to like, share, keep the good news flowing. And folks, when we're on the air again next week, we're going to bring you more news, more conversation, hopefully more encouragement to always keep you informed, inspired, and folks stay independent. God bless.